Ladies and gentlemen, the wait is over with. This is Star Wars The Complete Saga, brought to us finally on Blu-ray, courtesy of Lucasfilm and 20th Century Fox Home Video. So, no time to waste, we're going to get down right on this. Flap that comes with the, on top of the slipcover here, not on top of the, but comes on top of the case right here. Take a look at the back. Specifications and such for all 6 films, and this is the first time that all 6 films have been presented together within one set. Own every movement, the Force on Blu-ray, and let me tell you what, I'm so excited I can't even contain my words properly right now. But to give you an idea, look at the box here. It's the same box set made out of the same material that the Alien Anthology was created out of, the same box, and by proxy, the Ultimate Matrix Collection. The words Star Wars are kind of a bit glossy, but it kind of looks really cool, especially. I mean, a lot of people aren't fans of the artwork per se, but I don't mind it myself. I mean, it could be worse. Lucasfilm credits right here. So, let's open up. Again, a lot like the Alien set in that it has the pages that fold out. So, and what I'm going to do, guys, for this one is I'm going to go through each film one by one and kind of like in a chapter format, like I did with the Ultimate Matrix Collection, as I go through the unboxing here. But we open it up here. Picture of Darth Maul. Doesn't look that bad. For Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. This slides right back in there. But overall for Phantom Menace, alright, I'm just going to give the numerical ratings first and then dive into the details. But Phantom Menace, I'd give the picture quality a 3, the sound a 5, and the extras I'm going to save until the end pretty much. But the reason why I'd give the picture a 3 is because it looks like digital noise reduction DNR has been placed onto this release. Primarily, maybe because to keep the same look of consistency amongst all the films, but especially considering that Episode 1 was still filmed on 35mm. It wasn't until George made the digital conversion yet, but you can tell it's pretty rough, especially with the digital noise reduction. However, the computer sequences, like when they're going through the planet core, or the fight with Naboo with the Gungans and the Trade Federation, looks great. Cartoonish though, but the colors are great. And otherwise else, the details just meh, personally. But sound, 5 out of 5. I cannot recommend this enough, especially that pod race sequence. Good God, it is a blast. I'll tell you that much. But pod race sequence is great. The battle between the Gungans is great. And plus also, you have Duel of the Fates in high definition DTS-HD 6.1 sound. But yeah, I'm going to be raving about the soundtrack all through this review. But that's Episode 1. Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Let's see. And you'll get a sense of every disc is pretty consistent, so I won't have to really pull out every single one to see what it looks like. But Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Slides right back in. My personal least favorite of the entire saga here, but it fares just a little bit better though, but there's still some noise reduction, just a little bit. It was the first to be shot in digital just a little bit, but this was when Lucasfilm and everybody was still trying to get their ground on what they want to do. But the CGI sequences, though, aren't really as affected, though, that much, especially with the fight, especially between the entire Clone War sequences and everything. Looks great. Like I said, though, it looks really, really cartoonish. Like, at first, when I saw the scene, I couldn't really tell if I was looking at the regular Clone War show or looking at this, but but that's just my personal preference. But otherwise else still looks pretty good. Sound, again, I'd give a 5 out of 5. Picture quality, I'd give a 3.5 out of 5. Sound, I'd give a 5 out of 5. Especially the whole fight between Obi-Wan and Jango Fett. It's just like, you gotta put that on for right there, especially his little, I forgot what they were called, but Jango Fett's little sonic booms that go off in the asteroid field. Your LFE and your base is definitely going to feel it right then and there. So, Attack of the Clones looks a little bit better than Phantom Menace, but not by too many leaps and bounds. And here we have Revenge of the Sith. But Revenge of the Sith, probably, as I predicted, the best looking disc that we have in this entire set, with all due respect to the originals that I'm about to get into in a second. This was when the digital, let's see, shooting in digital, they had their technique down to a T. Everything has great detail. Nothing is washed out. Everything is impressive. The film's color is phenomenal, and it's not too dark. It's not too bad. Every single climate of every single planet looks great, and I cannot praise this picture quality enough. I'd give it a straight 5 out of 5, and the sound a 5 out of 5. It's just absolutely incredible what they did with Revenge of the Sith right here, and the sound, like I said, absolutely great. Especially the opening fight sequence amongst on top, above Coruscant, as ships whiz on by throughout the entire sandfield. There's plenty of activity within this one, especially since when the Battle of Kashyyyk, I heard a Wookiee in the rear channels behind me. I thought Chewie was swinging by me personally, but just like in the theater, which I really enjoy. So, picture 5 out of 5, audio 5 out of 5 for Revenge of the Sith. Now we're going into the original trilogies of A New Hope. But and as a little disclaimer, yes, everything that you've heard, considering changes that Lucas has done with the original trilogy and everything, it is here. Plus, also, he did go back and reinsert Yoda in a CGI form into Phantom Menace, but CGI Yoda looks it looks much, much more improved than the puppet, in my personal opinion. It looks great. The others, that you've heard, like Darth Vader's No, or in this instance, Obi-Wan's little dragon yell that sounds like a frat boy getting something plugged right up his rear. Yeah, that's included, along with R2-D2 behind some rocks. But the R2-D2 rocks thing doesn't really affect me. Again, it's aesthetic changes. It doesn't really bother me that much. But the Darth Vader's No, though, I'll get to that in a second. But I digress. A New Hope looks the best that it has ever looked. The transfer is completely faithful. It's not going to look as smooth or anything, or as polished, or as phenomenal as as Revenge of the Sith, but it's faithful to the source material. There's a fine level of grain here. Digital noise reduction isn't that bad. If anything, it reminds me a lot of Alien 2's transfer last year, which went in, they cleaned it up, and it looks absolutely great here. The amount of detail, like in the Millennium Falcon, or in clothing for that matter, or in the backdrops and everything, you can tell in which they're paintings, or anything for that matter. It just looks absolutely great. Compared to, say, like looking at the 2004 DVD or even the VHSs, you will be in shock, especially the cantina sequence. Even the detail within the Death Star, I noticed some things I've never seen before. It's just absolutely great. 5 out of 5 for picture, and a 5 out of 5 for audio as well. It just breathes new life. As soon as Leia's ship passes over you, followed by the Star Destroyer in the opening sequence, you're going to be in for the time of your life, if you haven't already, if you begin watching this saga with A New Hope. So it's just, like I said, John Williams' score in DTS-HD is great. Lasers whiz on by through you. It's just, I'm gushing right now at just how good this sound was. But moving on to The Empire Strikes Back. Picture of Yoda here. Do or do not, there is no try. Like I said, looks incredible, especially considering how old this film is. There are some scenes, admittingly, when it does look a little soft, just a little, not necessarily, no, wrong one. But it does look soft just a little bit in a couple scenes, but it's not too bad necessarily. But however, the thing that really amazed me the most is when you get to Cloud City, you'll start to notice some things that you never really seen before. Let's see, Endor looks to be in great detail, and Hoth especially. I was during the AT-AT Hoth battle. Probably the sequence of the movie for me right there, and just the level of detail that you can see within the models and everything is just great. And like I said, sound, the LFE and the rear channels really give you a lot of life, and during the whole asteroid field sequence especially, you'll have asteroids whizzing on by you all around you as if you were implanted right in that fight itself. and as starfighters, you know, erupt all around you, it just wow. I'm sorry. I know it seems like I'm giving this a lot of praise, but believe my words, all this praise is being well suited, and I'm trying my best to really condense it so that you guys don't have to sit here for far too long. And finally, we're up to Return of the Jedi, in which, speaking of which, this scene, I mean, this scene in itself has been corrected, so it doesn't look like the lightsabers, you know, intercross with each other or anything. But Return of the Jedi is probably the weaker looking of the original trilogy, in the fact that there is a little short sequence when they do land on Endor's moon that it seems a little bit soft, but apparently it was something to do with the original film source or if it's cinematography. But really, it's kind of has just a little bit. That's probably just the main really bad problem concerning this right here, but it snaps back though into regular. It snaps back though into regular focus into the great picture though, and the later scenes in Endor show great detail. The entire end sequence above Endor, you know, with Emerald Akbar, you know, it's a trap and everything for that looks great. Jabba's palace, they did increase the door size a little bit, but personally, I don't mind it. Again, it's all cosmetic changes, doesn't bother me. But then that comes down to Darth Vader's little no that he implements, and that's probably the worst change that Lucas has ever made for me personally. But I'm not going to go into a rant right now. But I'll just say though that you can't let these little small things try to stop you from enjoying Star Wars and enjoying this set that I have been praising for the past, you know, 11 minutes and 45 some odd seconds. So, but I'm still would give Jedi probably a 4.5 out of 5 when it comes to picture quality, just for that small little sequence of when they land on Endor. But otherwise else, the sound, especially during the speeder bike chase and the entire fight around the Rancor pit, great. No, not the Rancor pit. My mind is drawing a blank right now. It's been a while, but you know what I mean. It's completely just enjoy it. You're just gonna enjoy it. So cannot find the words to describe. And then you have the extras right here. Boba Fett finally getting his time to shine. Bonus disc 1. Bonus disc 2 with Han and the Ewoks. This is an interesting choice of what they've chosen with these pictures. Then that was stuck a little bit. Bonus 3. Group snapshot right here. Looking very good too. Security tab, but just to give you an idea of what it all looks like right here. Okay, Guide to the Galaxy. Pretty much just shows you extras in every single form. Anakin and Luke. Then credits for all of them. So we'll put these back right here. Put that back right there. Slip this back on, and then we slip this back on as well. So, overall though, what else can be said that I haven't said already? The sound is the show stealer here with its DTS-HD Master Audio 6.1. Star Wars has always been accredited to its iconic sound design, and it really shines in this. Like, no, it doesn't shine. It glows. Like the stars like the stars that you see oh so clearly in the distance now with its great picture quality. Looks absolutely incredible. Especially and as bad as you want to dock the prequels, but on a technical standpoint, with the exception of the first two films' picture qualities, the sound though rocks. The sound rocks in everything. The picture quality holds up very well, with the exception of the first and second ones, which is why, as an overall, I would give the picture quality a 4 out of 5, but the sound gets 5 out of 5 all across the board. Extras, I would definitely give, is missing a lot, but for what we get out of the package, I'd definitely give it a 5 out of 5, because every single every single thing is, for a lot, is covered around here. There's interviews. The deleted extended scenes are really cool. There's about an hour and a half of them. Almost all of it new, and everything that you've heard about, you know, everything you've heard about the legends of the deleted scenes that supposedly haven't existed, they do exist. I will be the first to admit it right there. The only thing is that any of the deleted scenes previously included on the DVDs, like episodes 1, 2, and 3, are not included, so you might not want to throw away your DVDs just yet if you are completists and such. The collection is a look at all the matte paintings, the props, CGI models, prototype markets, and everything. And just a simple look at it is great. The concept art gallery looks really, really cool. On discs 1 and 2 of the bonus disc, you'll find the archive fly-through, which is just a visual tour of the Lucasfilm archives. Looks really, really cool. But pretty much everything on bonus disc 1, it's separated. Each episode is separated by planets, and you'll find nothing but interviews, deleted scenes, the collections, concept arts, everything. I wish I could go into it, but it's like another extra 5 minutes. But let's just say it is huge. Like, this is a database of everything. The only problem, though, is that everything that was included in the previous DVD release, the releases, is not included on here. So, like the Empire of Dreams documentary, so you might want to hold on to that just for the sake of that. Bonus 3 has a great collection of Star Wars documentaries, like The Making of Star Wars from 1977, The Strikes Back SPFX from 1980, Classic Creatures from 1983. So basically the Laserdisc documentaries are on here. The Empire Strikes Back 30 Years Later doc, which is really, really great, with Irvin Kershner, may he rest in peace, Lawrence Cassian, and John Williams looking back at it, and Star Wars Spoofs, which is a good an hour and a half of nothing but parodies and pop culture from SNL, Robot Chicken, That 70s Show, and everything. And even Chad Vader is freaking on here. So, but overall, 4 out of 5 for picture overall. If I could give it a 6 out of 5, I would for the sound. And definitely a 5 out of 5 for extras. The Force is strong with this one, guys. Go grab this. So, may the Force be with you. Always. Go enjoy this.